estate gets real.
I'm Rachel Davis.
And I'm Kate Baldwin.
I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Coach told me I can never miss.
Welcome back to the REI Baddies podcast, where we spotlight real investors, real deals, and real lessons learned. No fluff, no theory, just the stories that move this community forward. I'm Rachel Davis.
I'm Kate Baldwin. And today we're sitting down with someone who is breaking the mold, or maybe has broken the mold, and has basically when it comes to creative finance.
That's right. Our guest is Mike Davis, better known as the SubTo Car Guy. He's taken the same strategies that we all know from PACE and real estate and applied them to cars. On top of that, he's diving very deep into AI in order to stay ahead of the game. Mike, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you ladies having me. Excited.
This is really cool. So, Mike, a lot of people know you as like the SubTo Car Guy. And how did you go from real estate investing and applying this type of model to the automotive world, the automotive world? I mean, I know Pace had said this like in my training at the beginning, how we bought that car from that guy. And I was like, and I swear when Rachel said that you were going to be our guest, I was like, hooray, hooray, because I am so curious. And Rachel and I are very curious. How did you make this happen?
Yeah, it was pretty organic. I mean, you hit the nail on the head as far as a possibility with Pace and the F-150 story. I think that was the easiest way to understand creative finance and just like take payments or, you know what I'm saying, make payments on something, you can get something sold, especially if you want to make more for it. But at the time when I started this a few years ago, I just needed a car. I was like closing real estate deals. I was cash rich, credit poor. I'm just like, yo, Pace said you can sell to anything. So I was like, all right, let me see if that's real. And there was a time in like I tell the same story all the time, but it was 2022. I think it was like February. He had dropped some SubTo Car docs. Didn't explain anything. And you know, Pace, he's a super go giver. So all the time he'll introduce strategies. He'll have training around it. He'll have the whole wazoo around it, right? With anything, any strategy, but with cars, he didn't. So he just dropped it in there. Was like, all right, I'll get back to it later. And I was like, well, shoot, that's enough for me. So, you know what I'm saying? I took the contracts, reverse engineered it, called around to insurance companies, lenders, the whole nine to see if it's legit, like how you could do it. I got a whole lot of gray area, but people were like, yeah, I've seen it done, but you got to do this and that, da 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 da. So that was enough for me to just try to find opportunities. I ended up trying to do Facebook Marketplace, failed at it the first time. I still needed a car, so I grabbed one. But 3 days later, I went to a SubTo meetup in Orange County, ran by my guy Richard Knowles. After that meetup, we was just chopping it up, and I was telling him, I was like, "Yo, Paige dropped the car docs, man. It'd be so cool if you could sell to a car." He's like, "Yeah, man." I'm like, "Yo, I couldn't find one." He said, "Bro, why don't you try Turo groups?" And at that time, Turo had just started changing their business model, so a lot of hosts were stuck with cars. And they got these cars, personal credit, business credit, and they were underwater. They couldn't get rid of them because they were trying to exit the business. I was like, ding. I went home immediately, made one post in a Turo group, went viral. Whole thing went viral. Just one post, a couple of words. I was just like, yo, I'll take over the payments of your car. Don't matter if it's underwater. And from exotics to basics to everything in between, I was like, yo, this is insane. Oh, I went in there, started messaging a few people. It was the easiest types of closes. Mind you, we come from real estate space and, you know, it's multiple calls, multiple things. The easiest close. And I was like, this is insane. This is clearly a bigger problem than me. So I applied the same principles wholesaling houses and did the same thing with cars. Went and go found buyers. There was plenty of people that like I made one post in a group and that went viral too. And I just started pairing them up. And then from there, you had to start building the business model. Then it was like, all right, cool, we're getting into it. Close a few deals, realized that you could really make some money with this, and then just started really, really diving into it. And the rest is history from there.
Bonkers.
There's a lot of questions because obviously this isn't a normal situation, but what was that aha moment? Like, obviously you just said it, right? I guess your aha moment was you found what was needed, like what you found.
Yeah.
And that's a really interesting thing. And I know Rachel, and I'm sorry, I'm going to just say this really quick. I was watching the YouTube guy that does interviews all the billionaires last night, and basically he said, find your niche in your thing and go for it. And that really, I mean, you went to a SubTo, you opened up your, you know, that's what we're talking about a lot in our podcast is just JVing, getting out there, getting that first deal. If you hadn't went there, then Richard wouldn't have said, hey, this might happen, right? Isn't that, you know, it's all out there to make this happen.
Question.
Yeah.
So, real quick. Okay, talk about your first deal in this space, because the fact that you did this over Facebook like groups is just wild to me.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
was the car? What kind of car? How did you structure it? And what made it work?
yeah. So the first one was a Range Rover. It was a 2016 Range Rover HSC Sport. I did like four of them back to back. I didn't want to keep going crazy because it was that easy, but I was like, I don't have the whole system down. I don't want to, say, get too bogged in. So I started off with a quick four, like inside of a week. But it was I did a Mercedes GLB 250. I did a Kia Stinger GT2. I did some other Mercedes, I forgot, but then I did the HSC Sport first. All of them were basic payment takeovers with like some cash down to the seller. And I came up with the difference, and basically it was similar to an assignment fee, but like connection basically. And we did the deals, you know what I'm saying? And like I learned a lot from those early on, like really, really quickly what to do, what not to do. I learned like, okay, cool, you don't do this, you do that, you avoid these scenarios, those types of things. But that was how the first deal started. It was just like the lady, I told her exactly what it was. She knew it was going to stay in her name. She wasn't tripping. Everything that I knew at that time, I let her know. I was like, hey, look, I'm not gonna be the one buying it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was all fine and good. And the transparency aspect, I think, was the biggest lesson I learned early on because it's so much different than houses. We're not going to people to in their house and then we're openly saying we're not gonna buy it. We live in the ambiguity of possibility. So we technically ain't lying, or we technically, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I may buy it, I may not buy it, I may assign it, that kind of world. But with vehicles, it's a lot more risky. So that transparency aspect, it really helped. Especially earlier, we just kept that rolling. So now any deal that we do, like we make sure the buyer and seller know each other. They both know what's going on with the deal. Buyer's all on board. You know what I'm saying? It just makes a lot more sense. But that's how the first deal started.
Were there any like challenges that you kind of,
Absolutely.
yeah, what were those?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the things early on, which we fix now, but the things early on were the payment systems, like how stuff was getting paid, because there's no servicing company for vehicles, because structurally they're set up different. The title and the loan are the same thing, so it's really not sub two like with vehicles, like technically, right? But so there's no servicing. That's number one. Number two, insurance is set up differently, and I had to go through the process of like making sure it was set up right because some things we had that they were set up wrong in the beginning, and we had to deal with that. I had to deal with vetting the deals on both sides. One of the deals, the seller was actually lying about the loan being up to date and them paying it, and we were paying the seller the money to pay the lender. Seller took the money and the car got repossessed. Like it's just things that you just realize early on. You're like, okay, cool. We're gonna make sure that these deals are spick and span. So made all of the failures early on, and that's why I started like sharing the processes with people and just the things that I learned, and that's how I became at least known about it. Because it's always just about a give mentality. Share what you know, give, so people don't make the same mistakes. That way, you cut down everybody's learning curve, so we grow together. So I was just doing that. I was probably one of the only people at the time sharing the game on it, and that's how people just started. Hey, okay, cool, he knows it, and then I just got a chance to learn more because I got way more opportunities. You know what I mean?
Love that you literally run your business to break it so that you can make it better. Like that's what you're saying that you did. Like, oh, I got to do this. I did a couple. Okay, don't want it. Okay, that broke. Now we got to do that. Like that's
Yeah,
incredible.
I mean, you basically started a whole new thing though. I mean, this is
yeah,
not something like you said. It's not a regular thing. It's like Pace dropped it in a folder and said, "Good luck." He didn't even like really. I mean, he has like two scenarios. I don't know what are you like. I started in Gator,
hmm,
and he does go into it in pretty depth in Gator. Like there's a
yeah,
whole chapter on it, but it's not nearly as the stuff that you're saying. Curiosity, I think for me is like how I'm just struggling to kind of wrap my head around it a little is how do you vet somebody like this? How do you confirm that that person that you're subtoing the deal to is going to make the payments on time?
same kind of situation that lenders do, right? So at the end of the day, and this is a rule. Like one thing I learned with vehicles, I think can apply very well to real estate and the other asset classes that we deal with, is like really being on point with common sense. One, acting like a bank. So I think we get too tied up on the assignment fees and don't really take into consideration the deal and who it's going to. Like I've assigned sub two deals that sellers have come back to me a year from now, or a year from then, or 2 years from then, and be like, hey, such and such and so and so's going on. And I'm like, I was just so wrapped up in the feed that I didn't really do the due diligence. Or there's times where
Very
they've
proud
broken
of
down.
all of that. That is very important to us. Is like yeah, the fee is great, but it's ultimately our client is so face like is first.
Right, 100%. So the thing that I had to learn is like, okay, well, what are the banks normally doing? Like, the goal is to have it so where it's no credit check. The idea, right? Like you subtoing, but it's not really no credit check. Like I still check people's credit. I may not do a hard inquiry, but I'll go through like payment history, proof of funds, income, depending on the circumstance, background checks, references, things like that. Like we have to still paint a profile. Now, granted, it's not going to go in their DTI, so they're clear there, but you still gotta be a valid buyer. You know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna find out what they're using it for. I interview every single buyer that we go through, that we work with, so we get a real feel for them. And it's not just me. Like we have a panel, damn near like a judgmental panel, just kind of get an idea and feel for the buyers. But then ultimately, it's the same for the sellers. Like we got to make sure the sellers are on point. And the goal is a very simple concept. You put good people together, you're gonna get great results. You put bad person and good person together, there's a lot of risk there. You put two bad people together, you know it's gonna be chaotic. We just kind of go on those basic principles and kind of run it from there. That's as much vetting that most banks do because at the end of the day, that's all you can do. You can't control grown people, to handle their obligations. So if deals go wrong, you have stuff in place. We make sure sellers put trackers in the cars. We make sure that all the paperwork is buttoned up right and everybody knows what to do in any situation. So we really mapped out, like to your point, Kate, as far as building it out. Like I hate to, because it feels weird, kind of big yourself up or whatever the case is. But we really did spawn like the safety of a new
So
niche,
that's
like industry. You know what I'm saying? Because I think people have been doing the idea of subtoning cars and taking over payments for years. It was never really any formal methodology to do it, especially outside of friends and family. When it comes to somebody random doing it, like just getting somebody random off Facebook Marketplace, there's a lot of risk to that. So what we have done in the peer-to-peer connection space is like, here's the rules, here's the process, here's how you make sure you're all on point.
do you have like, in SubTo a lot of times they'll like make sure that you have like escrow, money in escrow in case payments fail? Like, do you guys do anything like that? Or is it strictly like, I know that's something that I have that thought in my head.
Yeah. Natural. I mean, it's natural, right? So the thing with vehicles, like because it's lower dollar amount to open up a custodial account, it's still gonna be expensive, right? To open up,
Yeah.
as far as the value of it. And what we tend to do, excuse me, for some sellers, is like, all right, cool, check it. Just hold this extra cash just in case, and you'll have it as part of the agreement. But there's really like, unfortunately, there's no real servicing company, third party, unless you pay for an account to, have that. So there is that. But we, like I said, we usually make sure that buyer has full access to the lender so they can pay them directly to get the receipts. And we make sure that the sellers always know what's going on in the deal, where the vehicles are, that kind of thing. Just make sure it's all buttoned up.
Rachel.
Do you mind? I was going to say I have a question with this, just because I think this will be really interesting. How do you see what you're doing with cars fitting into like a bigger wealth building strategy, right? Because like you're the example of it's not just cars and real estate. You can do this with businesses, other things. Like, do you think that's a mindset thing that you're able to unlock in people?
Absolutely. That's the big picture. Because we're all in the owners club, right? So we talk about our Mount Everest a lot, and Simplify Minds is to make creative finance accessible to as many people as possible. It seems broad, but I have a very focused trajectory with it, and AI comes into play in that as well. What I've realized with vehicles, and because I've closed like real estate deals in like 12 different states, I've done cash deals, creative deals, like the whole nine. Like I get the game, right? But the similarities with vehicles, I was like, damn, like this really is damn near the same thing. It's just a different class of stuff. And then when you start learning, I've never closed a business deal before, but seeing it and kind of seeing other people see what I'm like, damn, it's just different terminology, but it's the same thing.
Boats. You want to find me a boat?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll show you what I want. We can get
yeah,
the whole podcast. I'm buying Miss Key West Kate a boat. I want
yeah.
Let's do it.
If you serious, I got boats. Like don't play with me. I got boats. I got boats. I got planes. I got the whole nine. So
Got a
it ain't no
plane.
thing.
Look. Oh my gosh, you are amazing.
Yeah.
You're using AI. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know how you're using AI in your business because I've just started using it in my own. So I want to know what you're
For
doing.
real?
Yeah. I've been
Damn.
listening
Okay.
for years.
Yeah, for sure. AI is for all intents and purposes, is going to be the extermination of mankind, and it's going to be the unlocking of levels that mankind never seen before. And you got to choose which side of the pendulum you want to
Gotta
be
get
on.
on that side.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I've realized that if I'm not using AI, I'm just not even being productive at this point. Right now, we use AI in a number of ways in our business. Obviously, it helps with automating things. It helps with intelligently responding to certain things. I've used AI has actually been a great reason as to how I've been able to grow this niche as well because it helps greatly with research. It helps greatly with legalities. I mean, I know, granted, like, we ain't attorneys, but the ability to look up laws and precedents and things around these stuff like that is insane.
Same.
Yeah, I've been able to do that. We built a entire platform, which is going to be part of the catalyst of my Mount Everest. But I built a platform from the ground up using AI to have the central location for creative finance to sit. Just a straight up home. You can buy vehicles, you can buy real estate, you can buy businesses, all creative finance, all assisted with AI. So like we have tools in there where there's and I built the first ever, at least that I've seen, AI negotiation like tool where it's basically like it assists buyer and seller to be able to negotiate with each other within simple guardrail framework, so nobody's getting a shit deal, but it's asset class dependent. You get what I'm saying? So like if you can kind of just, wrap your mind around it a little bit, it's like there's a win-win area in any deal that we're all trying to chase. And AI can help you assist doing that while still just having a central location to learn, to do the transactions, independent of a broker or independent of somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So and that's accessibility. And I think like there's so many things we use AI for, like AI, voice agents, chat bots, freaking the whole nine. Like it's insane. And I built it for other businesses too. That's the thing I was starting off. So
I want to just real quick, Kick. I want to talk with you offline. One of the things that I'm starting to do is develop master prompts as a way to just sell them for IP. And I'd be like, I'm focused more on writing books and writing SOPs and helping business owners in that regard. But I'd love to just pick your brain on what you did, what I'm doing, to see if there's ways you and I can work together, even because that's
yeah,
doing some cool.
yeah, for sure, for sure. We can definitely rap about that. It's not a problem.
Awesome, I love it. Kate, do you have any other questions? I was gonna say there's always questions. Do you want to talk more about just your mindset, like what brought you?
Can we get into like a sticky situation that you got into and it like, like really hard, not just like, and how you were able to get out of it, like in more depth than like, did something go wrong where the seller did it and what did you do? How did you manage it? What happened? And so that you can, we always showcase the good stuff, but like
The
how
good stuff, yeah.
to get out of something really sticky.
Yeah, the bad shit, right? So I've definitely seen both sides of the pendulum.
And I know in your first 4 deals, we kind of discussed that, but I want to get into one specific deal.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Because like I said, the early stuff is one thing, but I think people are always like the biggest question I always get is what happens if somebody stops paying? What happens if it gets to an accident? What happens if, XYZ happens, right? Cool. I've seen it all. All right. And then percentage wise, from good to bad, there's way more good than there is bad. But let's
Yeah,
go ahead
of
and blow up
course.
some of the
But
bad
I
stuff.
want to see how
So
you
the
manage
bad
to get
thing,
out of it.
yeah, no. So a bad situation that happened. This was actually involving a scammer that he ended up scamming probably in total. He in jail now, but he ended up scamming probably a total like $1.2 million or something like that. But there were cars included in that. It was about 11 cars that was included in that. Six of them he got from me. That he had posed himself as somebody who's got a legit rental agency and all of these cars and stuff like that, done all these transactions, all this BS. Long story short, I had to find out he's from a family of very famous criminals, and this is after the fact of it being on BS to where I had to.
No, just kidding.
No. So I'm not about to make a famous one here. Hell to hell with him. But what ended up happening was there was a lawsuit from one of the people that I wasn't involved with, but there was a lawsuit the lady had started. I actually got in touch with her though, because I was getting in touch with everybody, all of the clients that I had sold the vehicles for, and then it just so happened to just be knowing everybody else. I was like, how deep does this rabbit hole go? So and we ended up getting a whole web of shit together and getting everybody together and those kind of things to focus on getting him up out of there. But then, and there was some people that wanted to like really get him up out of there on something different. But what ended up ultimately happening is I had to go back to all of the clients, and this was a customer service thing, really, because we still introduce everybody, and then everybody's on their own technically at that point. But I felt the way about it because I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I vouched for this guy. So I ended up going back to all of the clients. I redid like all of their stuff. For some people, we ended up having the cars go back to them. For some of them, we ended up redoing deals with new people. There was one particular guy who this scammer sent like three cars to that three of them were tied up in deals that I did, and I just redid all of his stuff. So we cut out the scammer guy, and he just continued making the rest of the payments. So it was about a cool week and a half to 2 weeks of every single day dealing with just this problem and couldn't really even take on new stuff. Yeah. We stay we
Repo, like, are you repoing cars if that's needed? Are you a repo too?
Yeah. Nah, I'm not repoing nothing. I'm not a bill collector. I'm not a repo man. We will show you exactly how you can do it. But that's the thing with my particular business model. His business model was saying that he would actually take care of the cars. So he would repo if they got messed up, whatever the case is. And playing that permanent middleman role is a gift and a curse. It can be very dangerous if done incorrectly, which is why I don't like to do it. But what we did was just helped everybody get the stuff back. So I still facilitated everything, just making sure that
Yeah,
everybody was
right.
good.
I mean, for sure. That is interesting.
Yeah, that was a like those 1 in 100 kind of situations where it go left, like really left, like that was one of them. So
Yeah.
What I think is so cool and a testament to how like ethical of a business person you are is if I think most people, if I got involved with something like that, there is no way in hell I'm gonna let you. We're gonna go do another SubTo car deal. And the fact
yeah,
that you had people that you were able to just redirect to a new, I'm like, it lets
yeah,
me know that you take care of people and that you're always really transparent. I think that's a real testament to just who you are as a human being.
yeah, for sure. And I think it's the one really is it is because I would want people to do that for me, but it's also really the only way to do this business because the shit moves around. You know what I'm saying? Like it just all principle is just is you need that transparency, and especially if somebody's going to take the risk of keeping a loan in their name, you want to be able to give them the resource and give them the ability to just go ahead and handle things. So I think one of the benefits I have had is the client basis. Try to do right by all our clients, and we've had people continue to vouch for us. I can call anybody, you know what I'm saying? Anybody just like, yo, when we need a good review, you need this, and need that. Like it's fine because we need safe spaces to do these deals. Like without a safe space, it just don't make sense because it's too risky. You know what I mean?
Love that you talk because I think people assume the community is safe
Hmm.
and you have
Yeah.
to, yeah, you can't just. I love Pace. Pace changed my life, but Pace will say
Hmm.
this community is safe, and I'm like, it's not always safe.
No.
Yeah, not
There's a
always.
shot.
It's a filter for sure, but it ain't like 100%.
Like you said at the beginning, you're you were out more concerned about your clients and making the money, and that is absolutely how I've been. That's why I was
Yeah.
JV'd at the first 4 transactions I did
Hmm.
with 7 years of real estate.
Hmm.
I mean, 1 year I did $19 million in sales. So I'm not an amateur real estate agent.
Yeah.
However, it was so important to me that I brought on people from our community to JV with me on these deals because I wanted to make sure that they were being done appropriately.
Facts.
And I
Facts.
mean, not gonna lie, it was a couple $100,000. So the
Yeah. Yeah. Man. It be what it be.
but my clients are happy. I JV'd. I got to meet people. So if you're new into the community and you're kind of transitioning into where we're really trying to speak to y'all,
Hmm.
that's the real thing. Like you have to JV in the sense of finding somebody that you know, like, and that's the community like we're trying to preach. It's like, so who are some of your mentors? I mean, did you have mentors? I mean, did you get this started on your own in this sense, or
With the vehicles, nah. But I mean, I think
already done the SubTo thing for a while, right?
yeah. So with real estate, I mean, I got the game of creative finance from Pace, of course. But I will say there was an investor that taught me technically creative finance before I joined Sub Two. He's just a horrible human being, but I did learn like, oh snap, you could get a house zero down selling finance. I was like, somebody said yesterday, so I was doing deals with him. Um, and before then, I learned real estate through YouTube University. Like I've been in sales for a long time, so I understand communication, and that thing was always good at companies. But 2019, I quit my job and just went balls to the wall. And I used YouTube to close my first deal, and then I just kept going from there. And eventually, I learned the creative side from Pace. But the vehicles, I had to do research, and this is another thing where I say like AI was such a benefit.
Started the vehicles in our community, just so you know. I mean, there's
Yeah,
so you didn't really have, like I said at the you didn't have what we have within our community, like
right, right. I ain't had none of that.
So
Nah.
if there are people out there right now that want to do what you're doing, they have these opportunities. Can they come to you and say, "Hey, will you JV with me on my first couple deals? Is that something you're interested in doing?"
Yes, an easy call. Super easy call. Super easy call. Always willing to work with somebody. We have, so I mean, like I run the SubTo Car community, right? And there is free information in there. The platform that we're launching to will have some free training, but I also do have like a 8-week coaching program that I have made for this specifically so that people that want to come in and make money doing this, I show you how to make 10 grand a month doing this on the side. You know what I'm saying? And if you have opportunity, say it again.
I said you might see me taking that class.
Yeah. Nah, easy call, easy call. It's a lot easier than it seems too, because we structured these deals. This is what the top method is. Like we structured it so that anybody can come in, make a shake, and do a safe deal. So, absolutely, if anybody got leads, come on in, man. Let's break some bread.
Yeah. So how do they get a hold of you?
At Mike will close it on everything, Facebook, Instagram, easiest call. And we also, you can, if you have a deal, like say you need help with a TC deal, you can go to topwheels.io. There's a TC form you can go ahead and fill out. If you are looking for vehicles, we have a platform coming. I don't know by the time this is out.
You're going to be out like in 2 weeks from here. So yeah, I guess basically if it's not included in the comments below, we'll keep you guys updated. We'll get you
Yeah.
guys. So when this information's out from Mike, we'll repost it. So keep an eye out for that, guys. So
Yeah, cool. So I won't mention the name of it now, just for safety. So cool. But it's not. It's gonna change every damn thing. I know that for sure. But yeah, so let's break bread, man. Let's make something happen.
How do we get a hold of you? I know you said that, but do you want like email? Do you like just Instagram? Do you want Facebook, or is it email better?
Yeah, I mean, you can email me. That's fine. Email me at mike@topwheels.io. Yep, topwheels.io. Mike@topwheels.io. You can also, like I said, shoot me a message on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook every day. That's all I use it for is business. So reach out to me there. But same Instagram, like I said, at Mike will close on everything. Easy call. What's up?
Hi, Rachel.
Where do you see AI intersecting with creative finance and real estate in the next like 2 to 3 years?
Where we're working on it now, which I know we're not the only ones, but I'm very confident we're gonna be the best. But I think AI is, and I mean us, just creative finance like SubTo overall, right? But I think with AI is gonna make creative finance accessible for everybody. Is going to be the driving factor because of how simple it can break things down. I think one of the biggest things about creative finance is that it seems so ethereal because there's a lot of moving parts, but then there's also a trust factor that people don't know how to navigate. And all it comes down to is knowledge. It's just game. So it's like as soon as you understand the game, you'll never go back to doing anything traditional anymore because all the traditional system is a few people's idea of what levers should go where. So you should do this rate. You should do this term. You should do this because this is generally accessible for everybody. But all creative finance is we look at those same levers, those same things, and say, you know what? I don't want to do that. I want to do this instead. And we make our own deal. So when you know what the levers are, you know what buttons to push, you know those things, you can do whatever you want. And I think being able to break that down in simplicity, AI is going to help really break it down. You ask AI to break down quantum physics to a fifth grader, it's going to be able to do it very easily. And I think that's a very, very key point because that goes into not only the prompting, which sets up a lot of the mechanics to it, which without getting too nerdy, it makes the flow really, really easy to navigate. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And when I do AI, it's just the questions that you ask it too. Like you can,
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put in somebody's like whole project into
Yeah.
AI, and then I will ask it specific questions to break it down from this perspective, this perspective, this perspective. You got to know how to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, and it's been Charlie, not any. It's been Charlie. I love Charlie Kirk, but it has been Charlie for years. And so, anyways, so it's a very interesting thing that this being that we're in this creative financing when we have
Mm-hmm.
and that's coming on Monday, and I took her whole thing that she did and I broke it down, put it in there, and I broke it down. It was in like, I mean, it's a really intense. You got to learn AI, and I'm really
Yeah.
excited to see what you have coming up.
Yeah, we have I can't wait neither. I can't wait neither. I'm gonna piss a lot of people off and make a lot of people happy.
Listen, bring Rachel on. Rachel and I on. We'll be your baddies for this. If you want to test it, if you need a tester.
Yeah, nah, say less.
I've used it for years, years, since it was very confusing. How long's ChatGPT been out? Like
November 2023 was really when they
2 years. So
made
I
it
remember
available for
getting
everybody.
it and be on the list. Like I got on it and then I was on a list and then I paid $20 or something and then it was like Pinterest in 2008. It ruined the wedding industry, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
It did because then every bride thought that was a real color. Okay,
yeah.
we'll talk about weddings one day. Well, Rachel,
I was gonna ask one more question and then we can start summing stuff up, but I would love to know what's your best piece of advice for someone who wants to take what they're learning in real estate and apply it to a different industry.
I would say compartmentalize the pieces of real estate. So if you're going to apply finance terms, right? If you're going to apply that, look for similarities with that. Creative finance is all over the place. We pay our phone bills on terms. We pay Klarna. We pay our freaking Sezzle Afterpay. Like these are ways that you can just come in and make payments on something, but it's with their terms. When you understand the terms, it's like, okay, cool. What if I were to change this, change that? Then you can apply it to anything else. If you're thinking about the asset class itself, it's like, if I think about a piece of land, what can I do with this land? I can do X, Y, Z with this land, and well, I can control it. I can do that. I can do this. I can do that. I can do the same thing with the business. I can look at a business and look at it like a piece of land. If I have to, assess it, assess its value, assess what I can do with it, start, figuring out ways that I can improve it so I can increase the value of it. Like they're all the same things across the different asset classes. So I would really just compartmentalize the principles. You know what I'm saying? Just to answer your question directly, what I've been able to do with applying these principles of creative finance across the industries because I compartmentalized creative finance. I understood what it is in its basic terms. You deal with the lender, you deal with the asset, you deal with the controller or the people, in this particular thing. As long as you get those three down and you protect the money first, and you protect the asset, and you deal with the people, you can do anything you want in any arena. Everybody needs money for something because nobody's paying $1.5 million for a business. They're gonna go get a loan. Where do you get the loan from? The people. You can get a private one, you can get a bank one, you can get whatever, government one, and you got to deal with their terms. As long as you protect them, they don't really give a shit what you do. You know what I'm saying? And then you protect the asset, cool. You grow it, you cash flow, you do what you need to do, and you protect the people. If you apply that same principle to a vehicle, insurance is just different. The person has to deal with life and death, but you protect them, great. You protect the lender. As long as the lender's getting their money, they ain't gonna come after you. Boom, you can use it however you want. You're the controller. So the principles are all the same. And I think I try to look at it as simple as possible, so that way I can just do whatever I want. You know.
So good at breaking this down on a way that is so easy to understand. I think I tried to overcomplicate it on the front end. I really would have done good to just listen to you talk.
it's like mind blowing actually. It's like keeping me quiet, which is very rare.
No, appreciate that.
Rachel's very
appreciate that.
grateful for that because I have a tendency to talk a lot.
Mike, I think you'll appreciate this. Our first podcast, Kate actually made a sign when we had a guest on that said, "Stop
Yeah.
talking."
Shit. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, well, we're fun and we love you. Oh my gosh, this has been like a wealth of information for us. I mean, this isn't just us, this is like our community.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Definitely take a take two. So when will you come back on and go when you're just like the week your thing is out so we can have the
Yeah.
thing, tell us when it's coming out and we'll schedule you in we'll do like a special episode with Mike Davis.
Yeah, let's run it. Let's do it.
Always,
Let's do it.
you can break it down. You can this is such a cool thing.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
So, Rachel, what are we?
I guess for everyone listening, I mean, I've got to say it right. The I can say the name of our podcast. The REI Baddies podcast is all about showing you through people like Mike Davis that you don't have to wait years to get into a business. So if you like what you're hearing, go ahead and smash that subscribe, like what you see. It costs you nothing and it allows us to bring more people in to show you how you can take action now and get your first deal, hopefully in the next few weeks.
This episode has inspired you, will you make sure to subscribe? We are out every Monday at 6 a.m. on the dot, so you can either subscribe and then press the button to where it just comes to you automatically. We really, really are grateful for all of you guys out there that have subscribed and followed us on all social REI Baddies.
If you've got a story to share about your first deal, we would absolutely love to hear from you. Go ahead and reach out to the REI Baddies at gmail.com. You might just be our next guest.
And Mike, this is something we ask all of our guests. What do you think it means to be an REI Baddie?
That's definitely a hard question for me. I don't even know how to answer that, to be honest.
Don't worry, it's always funny for the boys.
All guys.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I'm not a baddie. I'm like, you're okay. Badass. Okay, what makes it all right? Does that make you feel better?
A little bit. It does.
All right. We'll make it good for Mike Davis. We'll say, what does it feel like? What does it mean to you to be an REI badass?
Somebody that, goes for it. No fear, no hesitation, takes action, makes it happen no matter what, regardless of what it is you're doing.
Well, you definitely have shown us that today, Mike. We cannot explain how grateful for your time. I know we had a little technical difficulties at the beginning, but it always makes it for a fun time of getting to know each other. So until next time, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And stay tuned for next week. We have who, Rachel? Who's on next week?
Mike Davis and Don Walker.
All right.
Or not Mike Davis, Mike Jackson.
I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, your husband jumping on next? I'm like, all right.
We have MJ.
Got Mike Jackson and Don Walker.
Don next week. So yay. All right, everyone. Have a good night. Take care.
Appreciate it.
Real estate gets real.
I'm Rachel Davis.
And I'm Kate Baldwin.
I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Coach told me.